Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keene from God TV Radio. Today I'm going to talk about a very, very popular YouTuber who has basically crashed and burned on the internet. This is a guy that I used to watch a lot. When I came to YouTube, he was actually there a little bit longer than myself. And as many of you know, I've been on YouTube, or was on YouTube, for almost 15 years, according to my friend Will Kincaid. I usually round it off to about 10 years when I'm talking in my videos, but I suppose it's been around 15 years. When I first saw Onision, he was considered an entertainer, someone who would make silly-ass videos, being a goofball, pouring shit on his head and doing crazy shit. I watched him because at the time I was suffering from depression, and he made me laugh. I enjoyed watching him. When I wasn't watching him, I was watching George Carlin videos or comedian videos of people being silly and saying silly political shit or things about religion. At the time, I was a former atheist. So I was looking for content that basically battled the concept of God and religion and all that. That was long ago. As many of you know, I'm a Christian now. Onision ended up years later getting into it with cyber stalkers and cyber bullies, people who were nonstop attacking him. And I always assumed that they were doing it because they were wanting to get views. On YouTube, they had a thing going on where if someone was popular and you made a video such as, I'll give you an example. PewDiePie's got like 65 or 70 million subscribers. If you make a video to PewDiePie, then most likely, if you put his name in your tags and your title, then everybody who likes PewDiePie will come to your channel. If you say nice things about PewDiePie, you'll get a bunch of subscribers. If you say shitty things about him, those who hate him will subscribe to you. That's how the game worked on YouTube. Well, for me, I didn't give a shit about getting subscribers or views off of that thing. In fact, most of the time, I never even really paid attention to subscriptions and views and all that. The only thing I was really interested in was the comments and the social interaction that you get through video vlogging. I enjoy reading people's opinions and ideas. As far as I'm concerned, I've always known, and every YouTuber's ever known this, is that you could have 65 million subscribers and only get 1,000 comments. It's the same with Donald Trump. He's got 60 to 70 million subscribers on Twitter, and any given day, he gets hated on nonstop. Non-fucking stop. There's not a day that goes by where he can't even say, "Hello, USA," or "Let's make America great again," without getting a slew of fucking attacks towards him and his loved ones and his family. Well, that's pretty much all I notice. And the reason why that's all I notice when looking at something like Onision or Donald Trump or anybody out there that is popular is because I don't go seeking out videos of people hating on that same person. Like, I don't go looking for videos where people attack Donald Trump. I don't go looking for videos where they attack YouTubers that I enjoy their content, if that makes sense. I don't give a fuck about the negative behavior people put out there. But for a while there, I did like Onision. I did enjoy his content. I thought he was funny. He was silly. He was a character. An actor. And then all of a sudden he got into it with the Amazing Atheist, and they got into an argument about a bunch of bullshit. Apparently Amazing Atheist wanted to defend his right to be fat and ugly and stupid and eat and devour as much food as he could, as Onision was like promoting and endorsing being a vegetarian or a vegan at the time. Now, I didn't give a fuck about vegetarian or vegan. I've never once in my entire life stopped eating meat and just resorted to eating salad. Probably would be more healthier for me. Probably be better if I exercised more and worked out like Onision did. Probably be better if I didn't fucking order up Big Macs and shit and drink a chocolate shake and some greasy ass fries along with it. but he just never influenced or inspired me enough to ever really do any changes in my life towards that direction. I remember for the longest time I enjoyed watching Onision have his wife actually get on video, and they would do silly shit together. One of my favorite videos by Onision was whenever he did the dancing banana bit. Well, as many of you know, Onision went on to end up divorcing his wife, and then he ends up getting in a relationship with another girl. At that point, I pretty much stuck to just watching Onision videos where it was just Onision doing solo silly shit, or silly shit with his guy friends. Didn't really give a fuck about the videos he had with the females in it, so I didn't really pay attention to it. Then, according to cyber stalkers and haters all alike, he went through that girl and then got another girl. The only thing I ever knew about the second female or third female was that apparently she was a starving artist. She wanted to be a musician and make it big in the music business. Well, who doesn't, right? Well, there was one day where I started noticing that Onision was getting a lot of trolls and a lot of heat. And around the same time Onision was getting a lot of heat and a lot of accusations thrown his way, me, as well as several other YouTubers out there, were also getting attacked by cyber stalkers and trolls and haters and all that kind of shit. So when I watched Onision and then I heard about all the bullshit and seen the comments, I just assumed that Onision was going through exactly the same thing as me. I identified. I was like, he's receiving hate. I'm receiving hate. I noticed whenever I went from being an atheist to a Christian, I got an unbelievable amount of hate towards me from atheists who called me a traitor, who called me a coward for walking away from atheism. They even claimed that I was crippled or disabled or something happened to me tragically that made it to where I stopped being an atheist. Because according to an atheist, if you go from atheism to Christianity, then there must be something wrong with you. You must have some kind of mental illness. It's really ignorant how they do it, because atheists think that they're the only intelligent people on the planet. Well, finally, I started taking some time to see a couple of these damn videos where people were shitting on him, and it was all dumb stuff. They were all claiming that he was beating his wives up or having sex with young girls and all this shit. And I had been known to make videos whenever there was absolute proof that someone was sexually assaulting someone or doing something wrong. I would make a video exposing that person. I would do what is called ownage, where I would reveal the nastiness and ignorance and perversion and deviance that they did. Onision, though, didn't have any evidence. There was nothing. There was just people running their fucking mouth. And then there was a couple former girlfriends who supposedly were pissed off at him because he got rid of them. Well, how many guys out there have been through relationships and then it doesn't work out, and then the girl goes running all around the world, running her fucking mouth and saying all kinds of terrible things about the guy, but never said a word when they were actually in a relationship? It's kind of hard to figure out who's telling the truth, especially when it's over the internet. Well, apparently Onision ended up in Newsweek recently. He's had just unbelievable amounts of trouble come after him. Onision I liked. Onision actually called me out one time and asked me if I would defend him. He noticed that I spent about 2 or 3 months defending him from trolls and cyber stalkers. But I wasn't just defending Onision. I was defending countless religious people as well as atheists from the onslaught of cyber stalkers. It wasn't as though I had some kind of investment or commitment to any of these people. In fact, 90% of them I didn't even know. Alls I knew is that a majority of them were being accused of a lot of the same diatribes that trolls did on me. I've always stood up for people whenever I felt like they were being abused and mistreated, and I believe that Onision was one of them. But later on down the line, it turned out of all the people that I've defended and that I fought for, I was wrong about Onision. But I wasn't wrong about the trolls either. That's the thing. I wasn't wrong about the psychopaths who were constantly digging into his personal information and dropping his docs all over the thing. I was wrong about Onision, but I was never wrong about the trolls. These are the type of people who will steal your images. They will use your real name. They will try to frame you. They will try to start trouble nonstop. They'll try to go after your family and your loved ones and all that. So I've never, ever felt in my mind that I was too hard on trolls. I actually feel even more to this day that trolls and cyber stalkers get what's coming to them, just as Onision has had. And it turns out that Onision has groomed females, has done some pretty disgusting shit, has been extremely abusive to people, and almost sociopathic whenever it comes to his friends. And that's terrible. Had I known that a long time ago, I would have never once defended him. I would have exposed him just as much as I exposed trolls and cyber stalkers and psychopaths on the internet like I always do. It looks to me, from what I'm reading in all this media, and as many of you know, I don't have a lot of trust in the media. I sure as hell don't have any trust with Newsweek because of what they do to Donald Trump on a daily basis. But I will tell you this, it seems like there's an over and abundance of information here showing that Onision has completely and utterly fucked himself up and has probably permanently ruined his career in the video business. You know, I remember that I was punished by cyber stalkers and trolls for defending him in the past. They told me, you're a bastard, Brett Keane, you're a piece of shit, why would you defend such a loser, blah, blah, blah. Well, if I think somebody's innocent, I'm going to defend them. How was I supposed to know what the fuck he was actually doing? How do I know what he was doing in his real life? It wasn't as if me and Onision ever hung out. It's not as if I ever met any of these girls. I didn't know who was telling the truth and who wasn't. But I can tell you now that if all this information that's coming out about Onision is true, then he's deserving exactly what he gets. And I probably most likely wouldn't care if he fucking died from cancer, died from AIDS, hung from a tree. Just don't give a shit. But one thing I do know about the cyber stalkers and trolls, that even if Onision goes bye-bye on the internet, these people don't stop. They'll just look for their next victim or look for their next punching bag to beat on. And the truth is, you want to know something I've learned about cyber stalkers and trolls, ladies and gentlemen? These SJW, self-righteous vigilantes of the internet, as they call themselves, 9 times out of 10, they usually have a bigger criminal record than any of the people that they fight against or accuse. Just recently, one of my greatest haters of all times, a guy called Matthew Bell, a guy who used to accuse me of everything under the sun, ended up getting put in prison for fucking streaming child porn to him and his pedo friends. So, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about making a friend on the internet, or you're thinking that you can identify with someone, you better be careful. There's a lot of psychopaths, a lot of insane people out there that are out of their fucking mind. They'll pretend as though they're your friend. They'll pretend as though they care about you. You might even think about marrying a few of them or having a relationship or dating them. I would suggest that you learn as much about people before you get involved with them. I have definitely learned my lesson. God bless.